If you like your comedy short, fast, and funny, you've come to the right place. Comedy Time presents QuickLaffs, guaranteed to make you laugh in 30 seconds or less.
They have signs up all over the place that say smoking-free campus, which was adorable, because none of us could read. I don't know why they call it community college. There's no sense of community. What we had was more of a shared acceptance of our mutual mediocrity. That's what we'd settled on.
And I just think it's not even really practical anyway, because if all of my friends were big, by the way, wouldn't that make me a white supremacist?
I tell you, I grew up in Southern California, and one thing that I've never been able to completely understand is this overwhelming desire for people to go to Disneyland. I understand kids want to go, but for adults, we just end up with a bunch of decisions to make. Do I pay for lunch or pay the mortgage?
It's very interesting to leave Santa Monica. I get in the car, I might pack a light lunch, maybe a book on tape, a former NFL coach and how he rebuilt the team, something to invigorate me. Then I just put on an adult diaper and head east. There you go.
It's a very traditional part of the country. And in Rhode Island, traditional is short for homophobic. I was at home visiting family. Right off the plane, some guy goes, "Hey, nice skinny jeans, you homo." I was like, "Dad, really for church?"
The one thing about drinking with your ladies, what really sucks when you go back to your place or apartment when your girlfriend's hammered. You ever do that? You ever see your girlfriend or wife hammered, taking off her skinny jeans? It's like watching a snake shed its skin in the forest. She's like, ugh. I want to do it, just throw a rat in her mouth, hope she falls asleep. She'll work that lump out by morning.
Speaking of dating, got the penny saver and the junk mail. I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not. They actually have personal ads in the penny saver. Listen to how this one chick put in there. Single white female, 25, seeking. Single male, 25 to 40. Then it said in bold, must be financially secure. Financially secure. She has this in the penny saver. Good luck, lady.
Oh, man. It's very fun. I just did a show for the K-9 units of Sacramento, and it was really bittersweet because I love dogs, but they had better health care than me. What is that? I felt like adopting one and stealing his identity. My name is Bodie, and my paw hurts. Take care of me.
I got a quarterly review after 3 months. My boss, he told me I needed to take more initiative. Yeah. I feel like his point was undermined, though, because he was 45 and he worked at a grocery store. He's like, you need initiative. I'm like, you need night school.
Women go through this all the time. You always heard a woman going, "You don't appreciate me. I gave you a child. I gave you herpes. Now we both got something we can't give back. Fair is fair."
I love tattoos on women though, but sometimes they change when you get older. The cougar I was dating, she had this tattoo on her thigh. I couldn't tell what it was. I was like, what is that, a mermaid? She goes, no, that's my veins. I'm like, ooh.
I realized that losing weight is like trying to start a fight between muscle and fat. Because muscle's like the rebel, fat's like the mafia, Because it's impossible to get rid of. And it always ends up winning the battle, right? I think if muscles could talk, they'd sound like that British action hero, Jason Statham. Anytime there's a showdown between muscle and fat, muscles will be like, "I thought I saw you yesterday. And I thought I told you to piss off. I'm gonna count to 3, and if you're not burnt up by that time, there's gonna be a lot of problems. 1, 2, 3. And that's when I get a cramp.
So my name is G. Williams. Stage name is Greg Williams or G. Williams. You can call me Montel Williams if you don't get that right. Nerds like to call me Morpheus Williams for some reason. Some guys call me Get Off My Woman Williams. Whatever you want to call me.
Today was weird. It's a really weird morning. So I'm walking through a parking lot, and this stranger comes up to me, and she asks me to watch her baby while she runs into the store. And I was so flattered because that means she thought I looked sober. Awesome.
Another sign I need to lose weight. I was messing around with this little short girl one time. Wow, sometimes you have a realization that you are a bad person in front of 200 people. She was of legal height and age. We got to fooling around. We was getting ready to do some adult stuff, and she was laying on top of me, and she leans in to steal a kiss because she's trying to be real shy, real coy. And I looked away, right? And that's when I see our reflection in the mirror and realize I'm so fat, her knees aren't even touching the bed. Looks like a baby trying to crawl off a footstool.
And I studied Chinese medicine because I felt like I didn't want to be a doctor. Like I feel like doctors are pretty much just drug dealers with college degrees. It's too easy, right? They are. They just have leather coats on instead of a lab coat, right? Right? They got the diploma on the wall instead of the poster of Scarface, but they're.
I have a very odd look. That wasn't the joke, but I'll go on. It's not that I'm ugly. It's like I think I look like a good-looking guy. I'm just very pale. So I look like a good-looking guy. Just a good-looking guy who died 2 hours ago. And I like that because everybody goes, yeah, you do. Good bone structure, needs more sun. It's like he's Jim Carrey with low iron.
I realize you don't have to be born in the South to be dumb. You just got to be there long enough, for it to seep up in you. It's affecting my brother. My brother keeps calling his wife his sufficient other. I tried telling him it was significant other, but he told me I was frustrating him with an L, you know what I'm saying? And he's a cop, so that's... I feel safe. What about you?
I've been out of the dating game for a long time, but here's what I've never gotten about it, is when people take girls on a first date to the movies. Because I've never seen a person eat popcorn that I wanted to talk to directly after. Ever in my life. Have you ever watched, next time go to the movies and just watch, the silhouette of a beautiful woman as she just opens her mouth and just crams a handful of butternuts in there. Oh, God. And then you just look at her and there's butter on the hairs of her mustache. Oh, you didn't even know it was there, and now you're like, oh, that is a Hulk Hogan you got going on there. Ugh. Gross.
She gets along with my family, which is great. It's so important that they get along. And we were just visiting my grandma in Ohio, and my grandma, beautiful, 93 years old, my grandma. Almost 100. You don't have to clap. Even if she was here, she couldn't hear you. She's 93 years old. She's old. I love her. She's a hypochondriac, though. Someone will sneeze, and my grandma's response will be like, ugh, I'm gonna get pneumonia. She called me up. She goes, I just saw the movie Philadelphia. I go, what do you think? She goes, I think I have HIV.
When I first moved to California, my #1 goal was to learn Spanish. But when I got here, I only knew enough basic Spanish to the point where Latino girls would find me attractive. And it never should have been like that at all, because I only knew 2 phrases in Spanish. I knew, me llamo Sean, and muchas cervezas esta noche. And the girls were like, oh, bueno, gringo, bueno, you're so good at Spanish, oh my God, you're so good, gringo. And I'm like, really? You're attracted to me for knowing those 2 phrases? Because it would never be like that if it was the other way around, like if a Hispanic guy went up to a bunch of white chicks and was like, my name Pedro, many beers tonight.
Yeah, healthcare, dividing the nation.
Oh, look, it got tense. It's not a right. As people always say, it's not a right. Wasn't in the Constitution, so it's not a right. Yeah, I know they didn't put it in there. Do you know why they didn't include it? I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but healthcare in the late 1700s, kind of terrible. Wasn't that good? They didn't even have ice. That's how bad it was. No ice. If you got injured, they just handed you a bag of water. Put that on your leg, wait till the winter.
Even to this day, I run into a problem because I'm African, but I don't sound African. That's the issue, you know. So when you guys see me or hear me, you expect me to say my name was like Leroy or something like that, you know. But you know what? If I sounded like this, eh? If I sounded like this, eh?
When I say I'm half black, my daddy is black, but he's one of those black Latinos that you see on TV, like Sammy Sosa used to be, or Big Papi is, you know, they're dark. You can't tell they're not Negroes till they go, I kill me. I kill me. Best Bob been very good to me.
21 kids, man. Like, what do you do with that many kids? Like, my thing is this, it's like, I think my grandma had writer's block coming up with that many names. By kid number 14, you're like, oh man, Maria? Oh, I got that one already? Oh man. It's like coming up for names for that many kids is like finding an email address. Maria, that's taken. How about Maria 81 smiley face?
So my brother just had a baby, and the entire 9 months that his girlfriend was pregnant, they argued what they were going to name the baby girl, and he won. They ended up naming her Atara, after the 80s game system, Atari. Yep, that's why we don't let boys name babies. Because we'll have a bunch of Zeldas and Links running around town.
It's cool, man. I've been working on cruise ships, man, so I've been going to the Caribbean a lot, man. And I learned two things going to the Caribbean. First thing I learned, that the sun in the Caribbean is not the same sun in the United States. That sun down there is gangster. Second thing I learned is black people can get sunburned too. I did not know that. I've been black my whole life, never been sunburned. Right.
But those who don't know what Ross is a department store that sells name brand clothes, but something's wrong with them. You go to Ross and get a polo shirt, you get a man with no horse. And he mad too. Man, this is that messed up. When I was at Macy's, I had a horse. Now it looks like I got arthritis. Look at me!
Man, it makes sense that they would confuse words though, because my parents, they learned English from Indian people who learned English from other Indian people who were forced to learn English by British people. So everything I know has gone through one long game of telephone. Like, I should be up here talking gibberish. I should be up here just like, I'm so aroused to be on this platform making funny funnies into the loud stick.
She's got names picked out for kids we don't have yet. That's a little weird. It's a little weird to think there's someone named Tyler floating around this section right now, all right? We're not naming our kid Tyler either. I'm not raising a little jackass. We all know a jackass Tyler. We all know a jackass Tyler. They're like, what's up? You're like, settle down, Tyler. I'm gonna write a joke about you. Woman stood up at my show the other day. She goes, hey, my son's name is Tyler. I was like, is he a jackass? She said, kinda, and she sat back down. Moms don't lie, that's true. Then she stood up and she goes, his name's not Tyler, it's Tylor with an O. I was like, yeah, that's way less douchey.
From California, a lot of Spanish speakers in California. I took Spanish in high school. Took Spanish 1-3 times. Yeah, I had this genius plan. I'm gonna ace the test. I'm gonna play all the vocab words on repeat while I sleep. I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I'm gonna take that test. I'm gonna ace it. So I did that. I played all the vocab words on repeat. I woke up in the morning. I took that test, and I took Spanish 1-2 more times after that. That's what happened there.
I was at a bar the other night, and I went to use the bathroom. And fellas, you've probably seen this layout. Ladies, let me paint you a picture. As soon as I walked in, there were 3 urinals, but no dividers, right? And there were guys on the end urinals with just this really wide power stance for some reason. I thought, all right, buddy, calm down. But then I realized they were standing wide to keep anyone from using the middle stall, right? Because guys, we all know there are no dividers You just can't do it. It's the rules. But I don't care. I just like slipped in there.
You know what? I feel like I've grown up, though I do feel like I've grown up, but I feel like I've grown up and turned into a terrible person. That's how I feel. Now, when I was a kid, I used to look in the mirror and go, wow, what a man. Now I look in the mirror and I go, wow, what the hell, man? Like, what is that?
I come from 3 generations of firefighters. My grandfather, my father, all of my brothers. And people always ask me, Ken, how come you're not a firefighter? I said, it's simple. Fire is very hot. And the smoke hurts my eyes. I don't even like the barbecue. I'm like, oh God. Like, who wants cheese?
I recently saw an ad in the paper for a suicide hotline, and I was thinking, like, if you work at a suicide hotline, you can't be bad at your job. You can't suck. I mean, that's an important job. You can't just show up to work late and the boss is like, where have you been? Everyone's dead.
Oh, no. Whatever, I was in traffic. What do you want from me, right?
And what's more disturbing is who's smiling on a public bus? You see anybody smiling on a public bus? That person just got out of prison. It's like prison cell, public bus. Hey, there's a lot less forced sex on this bus. All right.
American guys are really weird. Every time they come up to me, they're like, Aiko, I want to take you out to eat sushi. That's strange. I never go up to Swedish guy and say, let me take you to IKEA for some meatball.
Yes, I just got back from Vegas. I love Vegas because I like the hookers in Vegas. Let's be honest, I'm not making this up. The other day I saw a hooker in a wheelchair. To me, that is a dedicated employee. Think about it, oral sex is like Meals on Wheels.
The most common question I get though is people will be like, what was that like in the house growing up with all the different races? And I only get that from white people, and it's from almost every white person who I tell about my family. And they're not asking in a racist way. I think it's kind of like an Angelina Jolie sort of, I might want one of those kind of ways.
My Netflix creeped me out recently because my Netflix recommended for me a whole, because you know, when you log into Netflix a lot, it'll start recommending films for you. And then my Netflix recommended a genre of films for me. The genre wasn't action adventure, it wasn't romance, it was dark father-son comedies. What the hell is that? It's not a genre, that's a psychological profile. Apparently I give off a real Cats in the Cradle vibe when I rent films.
You women are so naturally beautiful. I mean, don't do too much to alter your appearance. Like my ex was really into cosmetics. And she'd be like, Matt, this concealer is fabulous. It masks all my imperfections. Now, folks, I'm a bit skeptical because no matter how much of that stuff she applied to her face, I could still see her 3-year-old son. So I think we can agree it didn't mask all her imperfections.
I only go to like rinky-dinky bars now. I think that's the best place to go. I've had like some great times. Like I remember one time I got really drunk there with this girl. I didn't know her, and we decided to go back to my place. Yeah, we get there. She sits down on the couch. I go to the kitchen to get us another drink. I come back, and she's asleep on the couch. And I'm like, oh, it can't get any worse than this. What happens? I accidentally throw up on her. What do? Wake her up, tell her she threw up on herself.
And I was on Xanax for 6 years, and my psychiatrist is like, Eric, I can't give you Xanax, it's addictive. I'm like, well, I have bad panic attacks, I have anxiety. She's like, Eric, there's a chemical in turkey called tryptophan that relaxes you. So now when you're stressed out, just stop and eat some turkey. I'm like, are you kidding me? Xanax is a tiny pill. I can take it discreetly. Now when I'm stressed out, I have to eat Thanksgiving dinner wherever I am. And I'm scared of airplanes. I have to sneak a butterball through security. Sir, you can't bring that on the plane. I have a prescription.
Last month, I'm in a green room with 2 other comics. We're waiting for the show, and this other comic, Dean, walks into the green room hammered, just stumbles in. He goes, "What's up, guys?" We're like, "Hey, what's up, Dean?" He goes, "Not much. I got a new tattoo. You guys want to see it?" So we're like, "Sure, Dean, show us your new tattoo." He goes, "All right, hold on." Lifts his shirt, undoes his pants, and drops everything. Jeans, and we're all sitting down, so now we're eye level with his personality, right? So immediately all of us are like, "Jesus, Dean, what are you doing?" And they were like, all right, Dean, show us the new tattoo." And he goes, "Oh, okay, it's right here on my arm."
Worst thing is like my mom, she never taught me Spanish. Yeah, oh, exactly, every time, right? Yeah, a disgrace. I'm a disgrace. And it was awkward, man. When I was a kid, we'd go to family reunions in Mexico. I just have to hang on to my mom, use her as a translator, talk to my family. And the older generation, they don't appreciate that, man. They get mad. They get real mad. Like, I had a great aunt. She was like in a walker, hunchback. When she found out I didn't speak Spanish, she was so pissed off, she stood straight up. She's like, "Ay, no hablas español?" And my mom, I guess she was freaked out too, because she didn't back me up. She was like, "Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him. He sucks. Guess he thinks he's white."